Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Today's topic is something that connects everything around us, from the tiniest pond to the vast oceans and forests. We're diving into the fascinating world of ecosystem structure, function, and productivity. So let's get started and explore how nature actually works as a giant factory of life. What is an ecosystem? Imagine a small pond. In that tiny water body, fish swim, algae float, frogs jump, and decomposers quietly break down dead matter. At the same time, sunlight is hitting the water, oxygen dissolves into it, and nutrients cycle from the soil to the plants. This interconnected web of living and non-living components forms an ecosystem. So, an ecosystem is basically a functional unit of nature where living organisms or biotic components interact with non-living or abiotic components like air, water, and soil in a specific environment. You know, ecosystems can actually vary a lot in size, from something as tiny as a small aquarium to something as huge as an entire ocean, or even the global biosphere. There are terrestrial ecosystems, like forests, deserts, and grasslands. Then there are aquatic ecosystems, such as ponds, rivers, lakes, and oceans. And yeah, even man-made systems like crop fields or aquariums are considered ecosystems. Now let's break it down. What exactly makes up an ecosystem? Well, every ecosystem has two main components. So, let's talk about abiotic components. These are basically the non-living parts like sunlight, water, minerals, temperature, and air. And, they actually decide the type of life that can survive in that ecosystem. Now moving on to biotic components. These include all living organisms, and they're classified into a few groups. First, we've got producers or autotrophs like plants, algae, and phytoplankton. They prepare their own food using sunlight through photosynthesis. Then, there are consumers, or heterotrophous animals, that depend on others for food. Primary consumers are herbivores, such as deer and zooplankton. Secondary consumers are carnivores, like frogs and small fish. And finally, tertiary consumers are the top predators, such as eagles and large fish. And finally, let's not forget decomposers like fungi and bacteria. They break down dead matter and recycle nutrients, which is super important for the ecosystem. So, stratification. Different species actually occupy different vertical layers. In a forest, for example, trees make up the top layer, shrubs form the middle layer, and herbs and grasses settle at the bottom layer. This kind of arrangement really helps in efficient resource utilization, like sunlight, water, and nutrients. An ecosystem is not just a collection of plants and animals, it actually performs four critical functions. First, productivity. This is all about the creation of energy and biomass, which we'll explore in detail shortly. Next, decomposition. Dead matter is broken down by decomposers to release nutrients back into the system. This process keeps the nutrient cycle running. Okay, so energy flows in one direction. It starts from the sun, goes to the producers like plants, then to the consumers like animals, then to the decomposers like bacteria and fungi, and finally, it is lost as heat to the environment. But unlike energy, nutrients are recycled. Elements like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus continuously move between organisms and the environment. Let's take a pond as an example. It's simple, but, it beautifully demonstrates all components. First, the abiotic components: water, dissolved oxygen, minerals, and sunlight. Then, we have the producers like algae, phytoplankton, and aquatic plants. Now let's talk about the consumers in a pond ecosystem. The primary consumers are zooplankton and tadpoles. Secondary consumers include small fish and frogs. And finally, the tertiary consumers are the big fish. Decomposers, like bacteria and fungi that live in the bottom mud, play a crucial role in the ecosystem. Sunlight drives photosynthesis, which creates food for the primary consumers. When organisms die, decomposers break them down, releasing nutrients back into the pond. This cycle usually runs sustainably, unless it's interrupted by pollution or, some kind of human interference. So, what is productivity in an ecosystem? Let's break down one of the most important concepts. Productivity. Sunlight is actually the primary source of energy for all ecosystems. Primary productivity refers to how much organic matter or biomass producers create through photosynthesis per unit area over a period of time. It is expressed as grams per square meter per year, written as GM to the power -2 per year, or as kilocalories per square meter per year, written as KLM to the power -2 per year. So, there are actually two types here. First is gross primary productivity, or GPP, which is basically the total biomass produced by autotrophs through photosynthesis. Then, we've got net primary productivity, or NPP. This is, well, what's left after plants use some energy for respiration. The formula goes like this: NPP equals GPP minus respiration, or R. Basically, NPP is the energy that's available to herbivores and decomposers. Now, moving on to secondary productivity. This is the rate at which consumers, convert the food they eat into their own body mass. It really depends on how efficiently herbivores and carnivores can convert plant or animal matter into energy. Let's check out some global productivity facts that might surprise you. The total NPP of Earth's biosphere is about 170 billion tons of dry weight per year. Even though oceans cover 70% of Earth's surface, they only contribute about 55 billion tons. Land ecosystems, on the other hand, contribute the remaining 115 billion tons. So, why is ocean productivity lower? Even though oceans cover most of our planet, they actually have pretty low nutrient availability, especially when you go deeper. Most of the productivity is limited to those sunlit upper layers. Alright, let's quickly recap in simple words. Ecosystems are like living factories that take in energy and nutrients, cycling them efficiently. They include producers, consumers, decomposers, and also abiotic factors. Energy flows in one direction, but nutrients, they cycle around. Productivity basically tells us how much energy is generated and available to sustain life. From the tiny pond behind your house to the deep blue oceans, every single ecosystem really does play its part in maintaining life on Earth. If this video helped you understand ecosystem structure and function in a simple way, then your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create even more valuable content. Thanks for watching Knowledge Chronicle, where learning is always inspiring. See you in the next video.